above all others.
Well, this is always one of the standout fixtures of the season, Manchester United versus Liverpool, but this could have even bigger title ramifications and ramifications in the race for the top four. If Manchester City win on Saturday, Manchester United then need to beat Liverpool to ensure that the title race goes on for another week. Liverpool, though, need to win to keep alive their hopes of finishing in those Champions League places. So it's all to play for, so we're hoping this is going to be a very exciting game. Righty, this is always a good fixture. I know we've had some draws in recent years, but both teams need to get the win on Sunday.
Yeah, you kind of obviously from City's point of view, it's going to happen at some stage. It'd be brilliant if they could do it through Liverpool beating Man United, but at the same time, I think it's vitally important for Liverpool to win the game simply because they've got to get themselves back in that Champions League spot. So it's good that there's so much on this game because, like you've mentioned, there's been some draws. You know, it does get the massive build-up, and it should do because they are two of the most winningest teams in our country. But the fact is that some of the times it's not lived up. But I think that this one has got very, very good potential of being very good. Yeah, it's a big game for Liverpool, isn't it? Manchester United will want to win to keep this title race alive. But for Liverpool, there's no option but to win.
They've got to go. They've got to go for it. You know, they're a little bit cagey, weren't they, in some of these games, Liverpool in the past. But they've got to go for it. If they don't get 3 points there, I think Chelsea will probably win at the weekend. That's going to put them really behind the 8 ball. And so I think it will be a little bit more of an open game. It will suit Man United if they come at them. It really will, because I think, you know, they like to counter and they like to hit teams on the break. And they're up there by credit. But sometimes I'm still scratching me head to how Man United have, from the beginning of the season, how they've maintained that position up there. But they've done it. Give them credit.
Of course, all of these permutations make it a big game, but historically it's a huge game as well, Sam.
Yeah, it's the biggest, I think, historically. Just even when the success hasn't overlapped, because obviously when United were winning all their titles, Liverpool were nowhere near it, and before that, it was vice versa. So it's always been huge. That VT there showed everything. You know, all the celebrations, you know, Cantona climbing up the pole and Fowler scoring 2 in that game. And it's always had big characters, always a big rivalry, even though the two teams haven't been at the top at the same time. It's a weird dynamic this weekend because kind of neither one of them's at the top. And the other element is Liverpool's diary is clear now and they need to get in the top 4. United have got Roma tonight and they've got Roma next week. And United have got a good 11. But when they make too many changes, it can fall apart a bit. And if they get even if they didn't get a good result tonight, they might have to rest a few players against Liverpool. So they got that second leg. So it's kind of stacked in Liverpool's favour a little bit, actually. And, you know, that could play into City's hands. But that's an interesting dynamic for the weekend because it adds a bit of interest to it, despite the fact that, you know, neither one of the teams is going for the big prizes this season.
When we look at Liverpool, obviously this time last year, well, we were in lockdown, but they were on their way to the Premier League title. It's been a very different story this season, particularly in front of goal. Has that surprised you, Wrighty?
A little, yeah, it has, because of the quality and the calibre of the players. Obviously, Jota came in and hit the ground running, but then he got injured and it kind of slowed down for them a little bit. But one of the things what was quite interesting, I read a piece about Van Dijk and Liverpool continuing to try to play in the same manner without a player of Van Dijk's ability and what he does, progressing the ball, and the team working off of what he does. And they try to play in the same way and it's not quite worked. The forwards have lost form. Firmino, it's that one's baffling for me because when you watch him from a technical point of view, I just can't understand some of the chances, some of the shots he misses and his poor record in front of goal. You know, Mane at the moment, his form's dropped off, but you look at a Liverpool side that at any moment, you know what I mean, they can gear, but for some reason they're just not scoring the goals they were. And I can't put my finger on it because they're still creating chances.
I think Firmino's the way he plays, the way he drops in, is because he's not an out-and-out goal scorer. He never was, and I think Klopp knew that. But because Salah and Mane go in there like over the last 2 or 3 seasons, they're finishing them off. They're the strikers. They're not wide players. They end up getting in those centre forward positions. Now they're under pressure. They're missing those chances. So Firmino's got to come into the fray. He's got to score more goals, even if it's like from the edge of the box. So for me, I would change. You know, you're right what you're saying. They need to change their play a little bit, because if it's not working, then where's your plan B? Firmino now has got to arrive in the box more. and you've then got to play slightly different. And that's not happened. It's just we keep playing the same way. It'll happen for us. It'll happen. Well, it's not happening at the moment. And you've got to look at that. Yes, they've had problems in defence and all those things, 19 different combinations of centre-backs, I think, which is ridiculous. But it's up there now where we're questioning why they're not finishing these. Have they got that real hunger and that cutting edge to put teams to bed? I don't think, they've lost that.
And Gaff, as well, with the signing of Thiago, at the moment, you're still thinking, well, when's that going to kind of kick in for him to be that kind of creative force that we saw him when he was Bayern Munich? It doesn't seem to have kicked in properly.
I think that's a problem as well. If it's not working up there, you need to have midfield. Your midfield players have to chip in. They have to get goals. They haven't got a Frank Lampard, a box threat, or a Steven Gerrard.
Hasn't worked out for Naby Keita as well.
No, they haven't got that sort of player that's going to actually get you 12 goals from midfield and win games 1-0 here and there from a midfield scenario. So they have really got deeper problems than just the centre. We've lost the centre backs.
Very quickly, Sam, how do you see this one going?
Yeah, like I say, I do think it favours Liverpool a bit. They're not playing particularly well, but just because of United having to play a big game tonight, they'll obviously want to get to that Europa League final. Yeah. They're going to have to make changes in the middle, and normally when Solskjaer rotates, it doesn't go that well. So, put a gun to my head, I'd say Liverpool, I think.
What about you guys? Which way do you see
I'm going to probably... I think that Man United, even though you have to say they're going to make the Champions League, I think Solskjaer needing to win a trophy is probably going to be forefront of his mind, so probably going to go with Liverpool.
And you, Glenn?
I'm going to have to not sit on the fence. I just think it'd be a draw. I just can't see Liverpool.
Well, let's hope there is goals, guys. Thank you so much for being with us today, Sam, Glenn, and as always, Wright. Kelly will be back next week. We'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.